They say week 17 is all that matters. And if you've had a losing season in the Battle Royale streets, that sentiment certainly rings true as you enter the BR drafts this week. Nez and myself are going to break it down. The usual breakdown, we'll give you our slate overview. We'll go position by position, favorite plays, favorite angles, favorite scrolls. We will hop in a small field draft, the Deposit Kingdom in Battle or Badge Bros Brawl. And then, maybe a little goal line stand action. And then we will wrap it up with some pick'ems here on the program. I'm Pete with Nez. Let's do it. All right. Nez alerted me to the fact that John Warner will not be here today. It's some crazy holiday up there in Canada. They couldn't sync it up with us, but we're going to run a little two-man pick and roll here today, Nez.
Yeah, I think we got this. Boxing Day, I believe John celebrates. May or not be factually accurate, but today is Boxing Day for those who celebrate, which I would assume is a very small minority of our viewers. But yeah, John being the family guy, so shout out John. I got big shoes to fill in terms of Galbrain scrolls and whatnot, but I think I got it covered. It's kind of a chalk John slate, so I think I can do the part.
Yeah, I mean it is a gross slate. I mean, just walked through it for Redacted there with Jam to Win and Yuta. It's like you're looking at these 9 games and you keep thinking like, there's more, right? There's more games, there's better plays, and they're not there. Nez, it's this is what we got, and we're stuck with it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, we're a BR slate, but thinking from like best ball, you're like, you look at your teams, it's just like, man, just nothing like looks like it has much of a fighting chance. And like there's a few spots obviously that stand out head and shoulders, but yeah, kind of a gross slate. You don't like seeing more than one, usually like ever, any totals below 40, but we've got 3 on this one. It's quite the slate to parse through.
Yeah, the totals, I kind of like team totals. I broke them up into like a few buckets. You have Bengals 30.5, Patriots 28, Jags 27.5, and then there's 4 down there. Bucks 25.75, Seahawks 25, Cardinals 23, Bills, and then a bunch in that like 21 range, and then a bunch under 20 as well. It is wild to see Bills 22.75, Eagles 21.25.
Right. Yeah, that's quite the conundrum right now, because ADP is not really budging, but projections and these totals are kind of telling us a different story here, and we just had a Josh Allen flop game, so that's definitely one of the trickier spots on the slate for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as injury stuff, I mean, I feel like the big one that was actually getting drafted was, whether people were playing Henderson in or out. I'd say at this point, based on the practice stuff, it's like, what, 90% that Henderson plays?
Yeah, especially because he's going to be, I believe, a full participant. I think he's listed questionable officially, but this is every step that he's done along the way in terms of practice is what you need to do to clear concussion protocol. So I'm playing Hendo in right now. He's like flying up boards right now. I don't think it matters. It's nothing to be that scared of. But before that, we had Ramondre with a ridiculous projection, which would have been, of course, correct if Hendo was out. But just to kind of like obviously paint the picture. I mean, not that people need to be told, hey, Hendo's in a great spot, but man, Hendo's in a great spot. And he's still too cheap, even with the fake ADP going on.
Yeah, and I think at this point, the hope is that the Ramondre ADP sinks like a stone, and that you can just kind of happily click Henderson and know that the Stevenson swap is going to be there for you. If not, the only way that goes south is if, you take Henderson, Stevenson gets drafted and you're in that specific contest, he's ruled out, and now you're just doing a swap. That's, you're probably swapping to a guy projecting for 11 points instead of like Ramondre's 16 in that case.
Yeah, that would be quite the rug pull on this whole thing, is if people get 6th round Ramondre and Hendo gets surprise ruled out. But yeah, I would call it greater than 90% chance that Hendo plays, but that's obviously crazy bullish.
I just started drafting this morning, so I don't have
Right.
nearly. I think I've done like 15 BRs or something. How's your volume here? I know you're juggling NBA and all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in the same boat as you. This was my first crack at it this morning, looking through everything. But I think, like last week, we have a lot of really fun quarterback options this week, where I don't think it's anybody like really stands out like head and shoulders over everybody else. I mean, famous last words when Trevor Lawrence drops another 30 ball, which obviously a great spot for him. But QB wise, I think is really fun. In terms of drafting, man, I don't think it's like a terrible slate to draft for our games. Like I really like the scrolls at wide receiver this week. Um, the grossest part to me, I think, is tight end, where like, man, if you don't get Trey McBride, uh, it feels really gross, and you're probably better off scrolling because yeah, Trey's projection compared to the rest of the tight ends is just like laughable.
Yes. Yeah, he's going to run away with it, especially with it sounds like Fannin is going to be fine, but even just the fact that he had the groin injury is going to make him feel less comfy as the
Mhm.
tight end too on this slate. Yeah, other macro stuff. You'd have mentioned this as far as salary cap, but just with less games and less monster, totals, that it is nice to lean into more correlation. And so I can see myself, especially when it involves the tight end, maybe a little bit more double stacks for me this
Yeah.
week. If I'm taking, Sam Darnold with JSN, I'm maybe just toss on AJ Barner because it's, at that point, what's really the difference in the sixth round? Do you have any other kind of macro angles you're thinking about?
Um, I mean, I'm fully on board with you in terms of stacking, excuse me, and being more likely to do so in this spot. Um, the I don't really have any like large macro points. I'm more so focused on a lot of these like undrafted players that I'm seeing in game environments that I'm like really interested in. And I mean, just to get specific, like the Colts this week, I think are like extremely intriguing, very intriguing against the Jags. The Jags have been like prolific offensively. The Colts get Sauce Gardner back, but I don't think Sauce Gardner is going to be enough to, bandage up what this defense has been for the Colts. So you've got the Jags, I think, scoring at will. And then you have the Colts that have been like very pass happy with Philip Rivers, and Philip Rivers has done a damn good job. And it just opens up so many options here, especially because the Jags are susceptible to the air as opposed to the run. So like,
Yeah.
I think the passing attack for the Colts is like mega intriguing this week. And all of the pass catchers, other than, well, even Tyler Warren's not even 100%. None of these
Yeah.
guys are getting drafted. So I think that is like a really fun angle, because I think this is like reminiscent to me of, the Brissett glory days of, a few weeks ago when, he was just in spots where he was just going to chuck. I think they're going to let Rivers sling it, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that they kind of even made that clear, and it does set up kind of similarly of like, last week they had a hard time running on the Niners, and then they're like, all right, let's drop back. And I think Yuta used the Joe Flacco kind of comp where it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what we have. We're gonna let the veteran sling it there. So yeah, I think that is an interesting angle, and because like the ceiling doesn't seem like super attractive on any of them, I think it's gonna pull, like you said, the ownership. None of those guys are going to end up over 30% drafted this week.
No, I would be absolutely shocked. Like they all look to be essentially unowned, which
Yeah.
I found to be pretty surprising. But maybe it's just because nobody knows who's the guy.
Yeah.
Which fair.
Let's start here with quarterback. We do still have Josh Allen here up at the top, but I would say both sentiment wise, projection, matchup, this is probably like the least excited the field has been to draft Josh Allen in a long time. I think in a couple of my drafts this morning, I scooped him at like 16, 17, just people like not really interested in him here. Drake May, of course, in a really good spot, but a pretty depleted pass catching room. Burrow is just the cleanest stack partner of all time with Chase and Higgins, and then Lawrence, who's just been playing out of his mind. That's kind of your clear top 4. And I wouldn't even be surprised to see Jalen Hurts kind of come in like, sub 60, sub 70% ownership, with people kind of taking stabs on different quarterbacks down here.
Yeah, I'm with you. It wouldn't shock me either. The one that I'm like staying off of right now, and this is like not typically how we think about, or this isn't a quarterback that we would typically be off of, but I'm definitely worried about the Baker Mayfield stuff against Miami. I think it looks great on paper, but I'm like definitely not loving Wirfs out, and Miami just has been playing like really, really well lately, and Baker just has not. Baker looks pretty pitiful to me right now, and I think we're thinking about Miami of the whole year, and they got lit up by the Steelers on prime time, and I think people see them as a flow chart for offensively, and the Bucs are in a must-win spot. But man, I just don't think Baker is playing that well. Miami at home is just like traditionally a very tough team, so that's a scroll that I'm not really like looking at, like kind of punching down there a little bit on old Baker, but I'd rather scroll to like Shuck right below him instead. Like you don't even have to stack Shuck, and I think he's a great play. I'm really willing to give Dart a second chance as well. Those two just like I just like prefer over the Baker scroll, just as far as like,
and it's tough too. I mean, you're going to see, I would assume like 90% of Baker stuff is just stacked with Evans. That's like the clean thing. I kind of like if you are doing Baker, do naked Baker.
That's fun.
The offense is so spread out right now with 4 legit weapons. I mean, McMillan essentially running ahead of Igbuka is pretty wild. And then you could still get stuff to the receiving game. Rashad White's involved as a pass catcher. So I do like something like Achane or Waddle opposite Baker is kind of fun if you do want to play that game, kind of hitting in a unique way. But I'm with you. It's not super attractive. Otherwise, I had a hard time writing up like the quarterback gems for this week. And it is just kind of hard. Like this is the sweet spot. It's like Shuck, Dart, Darnold were the 3 along with Baker. Because then once I get to Rodgers at Cleveland, it's like that game environment's so bad. For some reason, Bryce Young has an ADP below Joshua Dobbs, which is more an indictment of how few drafts have occurred so far than anything else. Yeah, I mean, both JM and Yuto were kind of like, and again, salary cap, the raw points discussion is very, very different. But, some Cam Ward, Geno Smith stuff, like not awful matchups for either of those guys if you wanted to get weird.
Yeah, no, I think like both those guys and obviously salary cap, I think make like a ton of sense. I like both of their game environments though, for sure.
Yeah.
Like where we've seen these guys, sling it, obviously. And a lot of dropbacks, I think, are going to be available there, especially for Cam Ward. That he's definitely going to have some dropbacks there. So low key a fun game.
Yeah, and if you think about like, I always normally on these slates, you have kind of a comfy naked quarterback to get to in round 6. If you don't have a clean stack and you're just like, like the shine is a little off of Dart now that he's not running just as much, although I'd still be fine doing him naked. Darnold, you would really never want to do naked. So you do like, if you are caught looking for a random quarterback late, like, I don't know, some of these cheap guys in the good game environments, this is me just like talking it out as I look at it now, but like I could see some Ward Smith, like naked round 6 stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think too, this isn't like a giga scroll by any means, but we're talking about spread out offenses. The Cardinals with Marvin Harrison back are low key a crapshoot at wide receiver. Just to kind of like put that into perspective, you've got the prop lines for Marv and Michael Wilson, like not close, right? Like props strongly favor Michael Wilson to Marvin Harrison. And then you have ETR out here kind of, to kind of use them. They're like splitting the baby. They're like, hey, at one point they had Harrison over Michael Wilson, I think, like strongly. And now they're kind of like splitting the baby on that. So nobody really knows. And so I think like a naked Brissett is not the worst idea, ideally with Trey McBride, but like, you take Brissett naked and you just take the raw points there because they're going to be dropping back a ton, right? I think Cincy's going to be able to run it up on Arizona, and it's just the typical Jacoby Brissett stuff that we've seen in the past. And I'm not saying it's ideal to take him naked, but like, hey man, as far as projection goes, like you're gonna like definitely get yourself closer to the cash line with a Brissett, naked QB than most other options if he's there.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And I think, maybe crystallizing for me a macro note here is we've talked before about, like kind of my philosophy with the tight end is like sometimes just banking a little bit of floor and some target floor as a way not to kill the rest of your lineup if everything else hits. I feel like that could apply to quarterback this week because we have less like really big ceiling options at quarterback. Like typically we would have a Trevor Lawrence or a Bo Nix back here undrafted where you could swing for the fences. It's like, I think I am going to show grace to some of these guys that I don't think have a ceiling, like the Tyler Shucks of the world, because like maybe just 18 points I hit 2 or 3 other ceiling plays in my lineup. And I'm just like very excited to have those 18 points on my roster where it's like, maybe I don't need 25 from my quarterback this week.
Right. Like it's just a very safe option back there with some ceiling. I mean, he's going to drop back a lot.
Yep. All right, let's move on here to running back. I would say really strong at the top for running back, and maybe each individual click doesn't feel like a slam dunk. And you can certainly poke holes, but just some really strong options in the top 10, all the way down to Genty, who is in an absolute smash spot. But, Achane, Cook, Barkley, Taylor, Brown, could see any of those guys going for 20, and it would not surprise me whatsoever. Do you have any favorites up at the top?
I mean, wow. First off, wow, did Genty make me eat it last week with the lower? He said, watch this. And I mean, 2 crazy long touchdowns against Houston of all teams. Now going against the Giants, which have been like the worst team in the second half of the year, 2 running backs. I just straight up just think Genty's just like undervalued this week. And I know he's ADP 9, but like, man, I would take him 3. Like, do I like him more than Saquon? I think I like him not more than James Cook. I won't go that far. I mean, it's a toss up for me with him and Achane. I don't think Achane's the RB1 for me this week, going up against Tampa. So Genty, to me, floor and ceiling combo there is just, unmatched this week, man. Like Chase Brown is splitting touches. Jonathan Taylor hasn't looked good going up against a tough ground game. And then you have Genty with no Brock Bowers there, like, for more targets available. I mean, you can maybe assign one more target to Genty, but regardless, man, he's just a smash and is just too cheap. Like I'm taking Genty as early as like 4.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree with you there. And with this ADP, you can mix and match and take him in round 2 and kind of pair him with whatever of these round 1 guys that you'd like. Chase Brown to me, probably going to be thinking about him similar to last week as just like a game environment play, where it's like, the stack with Joe Burrow hits because he catches 2 touchdown passes, or, maybe he's playing in garbage time or catch up mode and, Brissett's dealing. And so now you get a bunch of check downs. I don't know. But the one-off Chase Brown stuff is always like, it's hard for me to click him over JT or Genty or some of these other true workhorses.
Yeah, no, I feel you. It's really a sketchy ceiling and floor, to be quite honest, because Samaje is just like still out here. It's incredibly tilting.
And I wouldn't fault anyone if they wanted to include ETN in this tier. I think like push comes to shove, like give me ETN over Chase Brown. I think he's really close with Taylor, just with how much that offense has been humming. And then you really enter this kind of purgatory here. Bucky, we already talked about some of the issues with the Bucks, and he's losing pass work to Rachaad White and goal line work to Tucker. Ramondre is now going to take a back seat with Hendo back. Gainwell's been awesome, like really high floor, but just an awful game environment there at Cleveland. And then you're pretty much into scroll territory after that.
Yeah, the Steelers this week just feel like do not touch. But I think if you were to make a bull case, it's for Gainwell over Jaylen Warren, and the fact that like with no DK Metcalf, like is Gainwell going to run the most routes on the team? I mean,
yeah.
it's Adam Thielen, MBS, like it's bad. It's super bad. And maybe they just don't drop back at all. But Gainwell should get a lot of pass work, I would think, if any at all. Just a gross game in general. But yeah, I think Gainwell has a decent case to be drafted. He's just been a revelation for them this year. We talked about Trevion a little bit, but yeah, I think that's kind of like a no-brainer. And then the cover boy, man, Ken Walker.
Yeah.
He's tough, man. He's tough. Great game against the Rams. Oh, dude. Is it just like a trap?
So this is it's so funny because we chase him as chalk multiple weeks in a row. He burns us. Then he pops off on Thursday Night Football. And I'm kind of surprised that he didn't open up with a higher ADP. Like I would have thought the combo of what he did on Thursday, coupled with this pretty decent matchup against Carolina, that he'd be more like ADP, like 25. And then we could be like, fine, I don't want to deal with Kenneth Walker at 100% ownership. But he's sitting here at 33.3. If this holds, he's going to be like 40% drafted, maybe even 35 to 30% range, at which case, like, yeah, I'm interested. He looked explosive on Thursday. Like I'm willing to take on that pain of chasing Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, as he's prone to do. He reminds us why we chase the dragon, because he's just like unbelievable. Yeah, the huge favorites against the Panthers. Like I'm gonna be clicking Ken Walker, man. It's just the process play there is just like it's exactly what we're looking for.
Yep. I actually like a lot of these scroll running backs. I think Tracy is in a really good spot. He has a high floor with his work. Pollard, 3 straight 100-yard rushing games. You could sell me on Rico. Like I still think he has that in him to have that big game. Someone in the chat keeps screaming Breece Hall at me. I think it's Frog every show. And then Michael Carter, man, like you were on him last week, and now he gets an even better matchup, way better matchup here against the Bengals. So yeah, I want to sprinkle in a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of silly for me not to go back to the Michael Carter well after, making a strong case for it against Atlanta. Just saw more work than I anticipated to see from Cardinals running backs that weren't named Michael Carter. But I'm still bullish on him and his workload, and like you said, much softer matchup going up against the Bengals. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to that well and take some more of him as well. Bengals are still they're still a terrible defense. So yeah. I got to play Michael Carter again
for sure. Yeah, I like that play a lot there, and I think depending on how things shake out. I do like I think these running backs, like pound for pound, a little bit better than the scrolls at wide receiver, but we can get to those. Any other thoughts at running back here?
The only other thought, I guess, is just Dylan Sampson with the backfield essentially to himself. Here, really not the worst play in the world. The Steelers have been pretty strong defensively, and obviously the Browns are the Browns, and this is a low total game, but you're talking about a backfield to himself here, two touchdowns or maybe some pass work, and Dylan Sampson's a 1% hammer. It's not completely out of the question on a 9-game slate.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it. Yeah, that 15.5 team total is certainly gross, but like Dylan Sampson, the things that are exciting about him is, one, he should catch 3 to 4 balls here. And 2, he's pretty explosive. Like he definitely can take a screen pass to the house. And, it's not just a plotter type play where you need 20 touches for him to get home. Like I think he could put up a usable score on, 14 touches.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over to wide receiver. We got the 2 big guys at the top, of course, JSN and Chase. Some solid options in the mid-range, but I'd say even after Mr. Wisdom Teeth, AJ Brown, it's kind of wide open. And I'm starting to think about scrolls, like basically after Brown is off the board here. But what are your wide receiver thoughts?
Yeah, wide receiver. To me, just to start at the top real quick while we're looking at it, I am Chase over JSN 101 here. Just in terms of like a game environment goes, I can see a higher ceiling for JSN or for Jamar. That's a horrible Freudian slip. That's totally going to come back and get me. But I can see a better ceiling for Jamar Chase in this spot. So I am going Jamar over JSN here. The top is pretty, pretty chalky. The one where it gets dicey for me is Michael Wilson there. He's wide receiver. What is that? 7.
Yeah.
So to me, that's where things get a little dicey. I don't want to overthink it, but it's hard not to, man. We talked about it already, but when Marvin Harrison is in the fold, and we have a sample size of like 2 on this, but it's been bad. Like it hasn't even been remotely close to the outputs that we get without Marv. So that like really worries me about a chalk Michael Wilson. Is the ceiling really there? Like he gets 12.2 because of one sick catch against the the Falcons, excuse me. I always do that. So I'm just like, the Michael Wilson chalk for me, I think is objectively bad, but also like, man, could overthinking that kill you? Certainly.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, to me, it does kind of fall in one of the more classic buckets of like, my portfolio, Michael Wilson ADP of 21.9, Marvin Harrison 35.4. You mentioned the differences in the prop market versus like the ETR stuff, but that ownership gap for a pretty ambiguous situation should pretty heavily be pushing you to Marvin Harrison, or you just stay away if you don't like it. But to me, Marv is a really nice way to play off of that Michael Wilson ADP.
Yeah, I think the takeaway is like if you are somebody, and like you should kind of have some of your own biases as well when you play these. Otherwise, what's the point? But like if you're somebody that really likes the Cardinals this week, you should be 100% mixing in some Marvin Harrison, because that is part of the thesis. He's going to be low owned, and if you are bullish, like you got to mix some Marvin, man. We saw slivers of a connection. Let's see him, hopefully we get more than just like, I'm good enough to play to like, I can play and I am looking forward to playing football. Maybe some, more positive comments will help get things rolling for Marv.
Yep. Yeah, from there, like the other one I do think is kind of interesting to talk about are you mentioned the Colts wide receivers, those guys obviously, but the Jags wide receivers, because you do have Myers, who's going to be close to 100% drafted, but then you can slide down to Parker Washington and Brian Thomas. Parker Washington coming off the massive game, and BTJ, both those guys mostly undrafted. I like that pivot as well.
Oh, for sure. I just, man, I don't know what to do with BTJ, man. I just feel like, I can't figure out what's going on with him this year and why things have been so down. But it just feels, it doesn't feel good, man. It doesn't feel good to take a BTJ on the principle of like, he's due or he's still good. It's like, well, he hasn't been good all year. Like Parker Washington has had, higher scoring outputs than him this week. So I think I would probably, when I'm looking to take Brian Thomas, do Parker Washington for, a bit of an ownership discount. I mean, the difference between Brian Thomas and Parker Washington and props right now is like 7 yards. It's really not even that big of a gap.
How about this?
Okay.
They just played the Niners, and Jacoby Myers is Michael Pittman. Brian Thomas Jr. is Alec Pierce, and Parker Washington is Josh Downs. Could it be Brian Thomas Jr., the one
ipso facto?
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be clicking all of these guys. I think it's a good game environment. Thorman has it as a pace up spot. It's 2 good team totals, and it's probably the funnest game to stack up on this slate, because you have, between the tight ends and the pass catchers, there's legit 8 viable options to mix and match across these things, which I think, leads to the most kind of opportunity there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this total, I'm surprised that this total actually isn't higher, but maybe that's just like my confidence in Grandpa Phil. Here's a gal. Here's my, I'm going to, channel John here. A gal brain double stack here was to actually pass over Jacoby and do Brian Thomas and Parker Washington here. Just knowing that the ceiling for Trevor Lawrence is massive, and it really could, it could funnel to these two, and you get the Trevor Lawrence ceiling, and you are standing alone with those Trevor Lawrence teams, because they're almost all going to be paired with Jacoby, because Jacoby, I mean, we kind of skipped over him a little bit, but like he's too cheap as well at ADP 24. But you could bypass those Trevor Lawrence teams, and now you're actually pairing it with two really low owned pieces, and they all, correlate really well.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, the nice thing too is I think tossing the tight ends is pretty nice. Warren and Strange,
Yeah.
you can get those guys in the last round. You're probably not as excited about river stacks, but anything like you said, you could do a Lawrence double and bring it back with Warren or something like that. There's just a near infinite amount of ways to mix and match these combos.
Yeah, I would mix and match for sure.
Yeah. Any other scroll wide receivers that really stand out to you on this slate?
Oh yeah, man. We got to talk about Kyle Williams, right? I mean, he has the dream run out right now in terms of injury reports for the Patriots. I didn't even realize Mac Hollins was hurt. I don't know. Maybe he stepped on a nail when he was walking around barefoot. Keyshawn Boutte out as well. Demario Douglas with the Q tag. I mean, you can only draft 4 Patriots wide receivers on the Underdog app right now. The ones that aren't Diggs and Kyle Williams are Pop Douglas, Q tag, and Efton Chisholm. And I mean, come on, man. We get to see Kyle Williams catch that deep ball against Baltimore, man. I am so in on Kyle Williams this week, and Drake May slinging it. I think it's a fun stack to do. I mean, you could do Kyle Williams naked, but the Kyle Williams scroll, I think, is a 10 out of 10 on the fun meter, because I mean, the dude's so explosive.
Yeah, I mean, the big play, no one's questioning that. He's had those 2 games, 9.8, 11.6, and then the hope is he really needs like 3 to 4 other catches, get him up into this like 6 to 7 catch range. You assume another one of those is probably a big play, and then you're starting to approach, 18, 19 points there. If he can get to that, it's certainly in play, and he's going to be nice leverage off of, Diggs will have 100% ownership. Hunter Henry is going to be pretty highly up there. I think you can even kick the tires on Pop Douglas if he plays. Not near as exciting as Kyle Williams, but I think there's should be plenty of targets available there.
Yeah, that's just like kind of like an interesting little stack there. If things get that concentrated, the Patriots still have something to play for. Drake May just doing his thing. That's a fun spot.
Yeah, the only other name we didn't mention, it's just kind of like death, taxes, and Wan'Dale Robinson here could certainly pop up for that game he did against Detroit, where he went nuts, and kind of a fun like double low owned stack with Dart, since both those guys will be like sub 40%.
Yeah, I like it, especially because nobody's going to really be looking Dart's way. I mean, I'm surprised he's QB9 after the game they just had against Minnesota, but man, Minnesota's just been taking throws here. So give me a little Dart and Wan'Dale action here. Maybe you can even double it up, throw Theo Johnson in there as well. But I could see a Dart bounce back here.
Yep. I think Trey Tucker's fine as well. I think the benefit, we've seen the ceiling. We saw him go nuts. It's a good matchup. Bowers is out. Should be a couple extra targets available. So yeah, I don't mind it. Obviously, to me, some of these scrolls from a projection standpoint seem thinner than we're normally, accustomed to as far as like 6th round stuff. But I think on this slate, I'm open to it more so than usual.
Yeah, I'm willing to use my imagination a little bit here.
Yeah. All right, let's talk some tight ends here. Big Sleep asking if we're staying on the clock with Fannin. I don't think you're staying on the clock in that. It sounds like Fannin's going to play. So then the question is, are you worried about him being at less than 100%? Are you worried about re-aggravation and taking a 0 with no swap? But I would not be clicking Fannin, assuming that you're going to get a swap there, is what I would say.
Yeah, no, you're no longer staying on the clock, it sounds like. I think it's just something that popped up. They listed him Q because he had something pop up. But if he's telling you he's playing, I would assume he's playing.
Yes. Yep. Don't really need to say anything about Trey McBride. If you wanted to take him 101, I would not think you are crazy. Everything lines up best tight end in football in a generationally great matchup. Don't think we need to spend much more time on that. But yeah, once you hit Goddard, I mean, we've had weeks where Goddard was like the tight end 11. Like the thing is the same for Goddard basically every single week. They have these goal line packages for him that give him a pretty nice, it's like, I don't want to say ceiling because it's like, I guess we saw 22 against the Raiders when he scored twice. But I think it more just like raises his floor because he's a better bet for a touchdown than a lot of these other tight ends.
Right. I think it's a fair way to look at it. It stacks really nicely with a high ceiling quarterback as well to boot. So he, especially as a scroll option, man, it looks pretty appealing. Well, I guess tight end 3, but just as an option off of McBride is everybody's a scroll when you're not taking McBride to me. But yeah, Goddard makes sense. This matchup, I think, has a chance to be high scoring as well. I mean, the total isn't great, but who would be surprised if this game ends up shooting out a little bit, right? You know, no. Josh Allen does his thing. Maybe Saquon breaks one off. I mean, these are two teams that are still trying to play for something. So I would not be surprised if we actually see some more points than 44.5.
I would either. I think I remember I did my draft on Monday and someone in the chat was like, this game's going to be gross. And I was like 75% of the time, this probably plays around the total, but I think like 25% of the time, like 60 points are scored. Like, yeah, you just see with Devonta and AJ Brown, like all it takes is one of them on one play hitting big. Josh Allen rips off a big play. Like this game can get sped up quickly. Even if that's not the most likely thing to happen.
Right. I mean, you have to think like that when we're trying to win these top heavy contests, obviously.
I really like this tight end range here. Juwan Johnson, Hunter Henry, Tyler Warren, Strange. I think they're all, going to have solid target floors, solid touchdown expectation there. And then you're down to Taysom Hill territory, scroll territory. I mean, the most mispriced guy from like a projection standpoint, I think is like Michael Mayer. I think I want to have a lot of him this week.
Yeah, Michael Mayer, really out of nowhere becoming a really, really good option for us with the super unfortunate Brock Bowers IR designation for the guys that were able to sneak him into the Week 17 finals. My condolences. Brutal. But yeah, awful run out. But yeah, Mayer's super, super viable here. This is kind of like a sneaky fun spot here with Vegas and Giants. Another one where I think the range of outcomes could make this a pretty high scoring game. So in terms of the pass catchers available for the Raiders, I mean, we talked about Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, and Q tag Tyler Lockett. So Mayer's absolutely on the table. Should be out there for almost all routes. Yeah, Mayer makes a ton of sense, man. And the ownership's not gonna catch up. I do not think so.
And this happened earlier this year. I remember the week that Bowers was out. Maybe there were multiple weeks, but I just remember one week where I'm like, his ADP never came up. And I remember doing like some kind of rant about, Michael Mayer isn't some typical tight end 2 dust ball. Like this was a guy that was drafted highly that caused people to be surprised that they went and drafted Bowers because they had just spent a second round pick on Michael Mayer, who was a good prospect. So like you're getting nice pedigree here and great matchup. Like, yeah, I like Mayer a lot.
Yeah. Big fan of him this week. Are you going to do Taysom? Or you just
I'll do a sprinkle, but I will not be at John levels. I think I'd probably have like 5% Taysom would be my guess.
Pretty embarrassing that we as like an industry completely missed the last home game.
Crazy.
Yeah, narrative. That was really bad. Whoever had that alpha kept that thing tight to their vest, which they probably should have. So yeah, there's a chance that the Taysom usage was a mirage and we're not going to get that again in Tennessee. But I mean, Kamara's out again. So it's, there's definitely going to be some carries to be had, but maybe the 6 targets is going to be, you can draw that back down to like 1.5 again. Yeah, I'm going to co-sign what you said about Strange and Warren. I think those are, just that game environment, dude. I really, really like Warren. 9 targets last week as well. It's the most he's had in the last like 5 weeks there. So I could see him actually connecting with Grandpa Phil here. And then Hunter Henry, just to go up one more, given the fact we just talked about all these pass catchers missing for New England. The tight ends themselves are really not bad plays. It's just like we just have Trey McBride in this stupid game environment that like is just such like it feels very like doomsday-ish. Like,
Yeah.
How can he flop? But crazier things have happened. But in a vacuum, these are really fun tight end plays.
Yeah. The only other deep one I'd probably mention is I do think Gesicki's kind of interesting. He's been running more routes since Noah Fant has been out, and he is kind of the only play on the Bengals at sub 100% ownership that's kind of viable.
I like that. Play, a Gesicki stealing touchdowns away type of play while, like still playing Burrow and, while these other lineups die with Burrow stacks that with, wide receivers aren't getting there, pairing that with Gesicki and, being the last Burrow team remaining that can stand a chance is fun. I mean, we saw that when Trevor Lawrence put up 40 points, in the main BR. I think the top 3 teams didn't have Trevor Lawrence because they all had Jacoby, who had like 9 points. So these things do happen. I mean, obviously that's not the first time that happened, but that's a good way to think about it, especially without Fan. I hadn't put those two together.
Yeah. All right. You want to do a little drafting here?
Yeah, let's get in here.
All right. I just made a note. Take advantage of the Deposit Kingdom GPP style tournament this week, because after the show, I'm going to message Numi and Brett and Hope and make sure that it is a double up next week. John and Nez will get to deal with my bullshit of only discussing the best plays here. Did I miss the Deposit Kingdom? Is it up, Nez? Do you see it?
Let me check.
Let's do a refresh here.
Yeah, they've been busy making changes to the best ball sweats. So
yeah, we might have gotten lost in the shuffle here. Yeah, we can draft something else, small field, but keep an eye out for that. We'll get that up later. Let's see here. This double reverse is filling. Oh, I actually did those two because I saw it filling. Let's do the extra point. We'll do my single entry. $10, 564 entries, snap filled. Sorry, no friends and family. People were already hopping in it. And we do draw the Influencer 101. Nez, small field. Do we go Chase or McBride here?
I think I'm Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
I think I'm Chase. I did McBride 101 once and I just didn't really love it. I didn't think that it was necessarily correct. I mean, depending on how many drafts you're doing, if you're not jamming volume and you want to make sure that you have, over the field Trey McBride exposures, by all means do so. But I definitely don't think that that's like the necessary move. I'd much rather take Chase or even, JSN, but I am team Chase, as I said.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you there as well. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting week in that one of the first weeks I don't know if I will be looking to get quite as even exposure to all the round one guys. We already mentioned the Genty dynamic. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Like, I do prefer Chase to JSN. I'd like to be very heavy on McBride. And I think I almost feel like I want about equal amounts of Genty and ETN as some of these other guys. So I could see myself being lower on the Achane, Cook, Barkley, Taylor, like grouping in round one.
I know. Me too. And what sucks is like, I swear every time I overthink Achane, it's like Achane 40-yard run, touchdown. God damn it, man. Like I just can't get this dude right. But that's kind of where I'm at. I do like ETN. I'm just worried that I'm chasing usage or chasing points rather than usage. But the spot is just like incredible, and I'm begging myself not to overthink it. But I can't help it.
What's the concern about usage?
No, well, it's not necessarily the usage. It's just like the effectiveness of him on the ground.
Yeah.
Where he's, getting bailed out the last 2 weeks with receiving touchdowns. He just, went off against the Colts, to be fair, though, 20 carries and 2 touchdowns 3 weeks ago. So it's just something about seeing those high projecting the running backs that like look like smashes. Like to me, they never go. It just never goes well for me, man. I'm just pattern matching past results, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hearing you just telling me to not overthink it makes me feel like I need to just do that.
Yeah. I just feel like it's his backfield. It's a great matchup. And there's just a lot of different ways, it could be in the screen game, it could be goal line carries, it could be him ripping off a big play.
Basically projected for 20 touches. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a game environment that I keep lauding about. So yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna suck it up and do the right thing.
There you go. I saw a note. The Raiders are shutting down Max Crosby, and he he said his quote was, "I vehemently disagreed and left the building." There,
Man,
hilarious.
they're just straight up tanking. I mean, as
Yeah,
they probably should, but
but that's like a legit boost for Dart in the Giants. I mean, Crosby's a menace there.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good for his time to throw.
Yeah, I'll also +1 Tyron Tracy here
Yeah.
in this one. I mean, we're gonna talk about Utah's logic of a team, not being all in. The Raiders could not be less all in right now.
Yeah.
And the Giants, I think, are trying to build confidence in their rookie QB with an interim coach that I don't think we're going to see Coughlin come back as full-time head coach, but just rookie QB confidence there. They're definitely playing for something, whereas the Raiders are essentially, 1 foot out the door with the Pete Carroll experience. I think Joe Shane wants to, put on a show so he can save his job.
For sure. All right, we are almost back around on the wrap. I will say I've tried to do the pushing Joe Burrow thing here, and it basically never seems to work. If we want,
especially with the no Badgers here, there's no way they're letting Joe Burrow come back to us in the 4th.
And because the Higgins Burrow tap over there is pretty,
right, we'd have to double it.
Yeah. So yeah, we can take Burrow here with one of these picks, and then who else do you like? Get a second wide receiver.
Yeah, so we lose ETN here.
We could do you want to just premium double Burrow or?
Yeah. I think that's worth it.
Yeah, and this is a really small contest, 564. I think it's very much in play with that total.
Yeah, you don't need the nuts, but we're giving ourselves outs at one of these guys being have to have it players.
This could be a good team to put Michael Carter on as well if we kind of just want to play this as a shootout where the Bengals are actually kind of compelled to keep throwing.
This basically the only time I've taken Michael Carter is when I'm doing this Bengals stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so we go Chase, Burrow, Bengal. Steven, I know they're not going to sit Genty.
No.
They're going to play all their young guys. That's kind of why JM was on Jack Bash. I think that's a good shout. But I do think there's way more, again, talking Genty ADP and all this, we should not be scared of the ceiling, but I don't think there's much of a floor here, with this situation. There's lots of ways this could head south.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to cut back on Genty's workload, but given the, you can't really ignore the writing on the wall that says that they are thinking ahead and, perhaps bottling up their first round investment in the running back position, who takes a lot of big hits. Could they do that? Absolutely. So yeah, the floor is definitely scary, but you can't ignore the Genty ceiling still. I just don't think that would be sharp. He's not completely out of the running for OPOY or offensive rookie of the year. So I don't think they're going to completely just shut him down. That would be doing him a disservice.
Yeah. Yeah, if anything, it just, I think, brings even a little more intrigue to the passing game for the Raiders. If they're really trailing here, can't, keep the Giants offense in check at all. Definitely has some shootout appeal there.
I'm with it, man. I really do think that's a kind of under the radar shootout option. And I think it starts with the Giants doing their part. And scoring on this, Half-Life Raiders team, and then we see the Geno Smith unlocked and just let him chuck it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we have our premium double here. Everybody taking their sweet ass time in this contest here.
Yeah, this has probably been waiting to fill for like 30 minutes, and half the people aren't even aware that there's a draft happening. It's fine.
Yeah. Slayton without Crosby seems live. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely kind of getting back into thinner territory, I think, on underdog. The team total's fine, 21.25. I don't hate it. If we're going to entertain the Kyle Williams, those kind of plays, I think Slayton can enter that conversation.
Yeah, I think he makes sense. I get what the point is, right? Yeah, like less pressure, more time for a deep ball to develop, no doubt.
All right, let's see here. So Nez, we're going to be doing we could still do a 3 wide receiver lineup if we really wanted to here. I also we can probably just punt tight end until our last pick. I don't know if anyone's really separating for me here. One little other kind of teammate correlation that I do like on a build like this could be like Trevion Henderson and Hunter Henry would be a nice way to like capture New England points.
Yeah, I was really hoping Trevion would last. So yeah, let's definitely do Trevion.
Yeah.
I think Trevion and Henry is a fun way to play this. And then I think I lean 3 wide receivers here. And maybe wrap this up with like Marv, unless Michael Wilson makes it back.
Do you like Carter over or Marv over Carter?
Over Michael Carter?
Yeah.
I think with this build I do, but in terms of projection, I would obviously prefer Carter if I'm just like trying to like score points. But I think Marv definitely has a ceiling here where we're talking about a shootout with a double stack going on.
Yeah. I think, I'd be open to either. I mean, the nice thing with Carter is he should catch some balls too. So he should be live in a couple game scripts. But yeah, the Marvin Harrison bring back on the alpha stack definitely has the take down a tournament energy for sure.
Right.
All right, here we go. Did they get the contest up, or did you hear from them?
No, I did not hear from
That's all right.
From Numi.
All right, guys, you can keep an eye out for that. I will remind you guys in the Discord on Sunday morning in case our beloved contests get buried down there. Ned, you want to hop in a goal line stand here while we?
Yeah. Let me reg. Should be good. The liquidity has not been overly strong.
Did you get in?
I did.
Okay, good. All right. This one snap filled right when, so that was close. There we go. All right.
Friends and family in here.
So is Henderson clear to play? I believe he's officially listed at questionable, but he's been practicing. He's been practicing with contact. Nez and I kind of ballparked it at like 90% chance that he's playing this week. I would be pretty surprised at this point. He would have to have some kind of setback or weird thing that would pop up.
Yeah, everything that has been going on through the protocol is trending toward playing. You see most guys at full practice on a Friday, especially if it's their first concussion in the season, like play, given this the way that the practices have trended.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. What we're going to end up with. I will keep you guys posted. So I have the 1-5. Nez, you have the 1-3. Wait a second. What is this goal line stand ADP? What am I looking at? Ramondre Stevenson 3.8. Have you done what? Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah. I mean, it was factually correct before Trevion got ruled in. I mean, Ramondre was RB2 on the slate before Trevion started practicing.
But what I'm just like, I mean, he wasn't even close to that in the 6s. I don't know if I've ever seen that big of an ADP disparity between the 6s and the 12s.
I know we were joking about that in the Discord earlier about so you will never guess who ADP 2 is because he was ADP 2 for a while in this contest. But in projection, it lined up. There just hasn't been like no liquidity at all.
Yeah, you're right. We're 305 entrants in right now. Who do I prefer? Push comes to shove, I think I'm going to take James Cook as my guy right here.
There you go.
And then extra point, Nez. We can wrap this up. You good with Marv?
Yeah. Let's go, Marv. Let's shoot for ceiling in the low in the small field contest. Let's do it. Why not?
Let me get this board up here. I think if I go like this, yeah, lot going on in the lobby this week. Do you think there's overlay potential with anything, just with people still in Christmas mode and NBA mode?
I don't think so in terms of Sunday slates because they are not that large. But the Saturday PTP is at risk for sure. It's 150K. To put it into perspective, most PTPs outside of the holiday season have been like 80K right now.
Okay.
So this is definitely at risk. And the only other one that might overlay is this goal line stand, which is ironic because it's smaller, but like when the prize pool is smaller, you see less people want to sit in these lobbies and draft them. Like even tonight, like I'm gonna do a no strip stream, and I'm probably gonna do like playoff best ball for the most part. Just it's playoff best ball season, and it's more fun to get in these playoff best ball streets with people that are a little more well behaved than some randoms.
Yeah, it's man, I wish I'm barely I never have enough time to like get in all of my main slate drafts, but I wish I had the time for some of those PTPs. Maybe we'll find a way.
Yeah, the Saturday ones are pretty fun, I will say. They're really not that bad, but yeah, if you just get, fire off 20 or so, if you can get them in, they go fast. I will say they go very fast because they're only 4-person drafts.
Yeah. Let me just look at, I'm curious what are the ranks on it? So you have Herbert, Stroud, Huntley, Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey man, I like Malik Willis.
Yeah. Running back's pretty solid. Wide receiver, you got some options. Tight end is pretty gross. Schultz, Gadsden. It's fine. Andrews. All right. There you go.
Yeah. The most interesting ADP I think is Josh Jacobs. ADP 4. I'd probably take him too. But I don't know.
Trevor, I probably won't do on After Dark. I think my playoff best ball content will be confined to that week, post week 18, up to wild card, in which case I'll be going ham. We'll definitely do streams off and on the clock. I mean, we'll have a lot to juggle. Maybe what we'll do is a 2 shows that week where we do a playoff best ball show and a wild card battle royale show, because we'll want to be able to cover both of those. But yeah, I'm like week 17 mode right now. I'm going to be cash game mode next week, and then it'll be playoff and wild card DFS.
Yeah, have you done much playoff best ball yet?
No, not a single one.
Nice.
Or maybe wait, I did one on a bash like 3 weeks ago. That was
oh wow.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
No, I'm excited to get in there, but like I said, I still want to max like the BR, and that's just going to take all of my my time right now.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. All right, I am on the clock here. Interesting. Let's get my guy Tyrone Tracy. I mean, I know it's maybe seems a little early, but I'm gonna lock him up.
He was on your front screen there. He was at the top of the queue. Running back gets thin in a hurry in these goal line stands. So I don't think that was a risky move. I was gonna take him if you didn't, because now it's like, these cast of characters, the Steelers running backs, Ken Walker and Michael Carter, or Tony Pollard.
There you go.
Back to back 100-yard game. But I'm gonna go Trevion before Buster Boys takes him.
There you go. Yeah, Trevion is nice there as well. Yeah, it was either like going quarterback. I mean, there was really nothing with wide receiver compelling me in round 2 there, so might as well lock in the touches.
Yeah, it's definitely the move. It falls off a cliff, like we talked about. Um,
Yeah.
Pete, at your age, do you still do gifts from your wife for Christmas? You guys get
At
each other
my
Christmas
age, what
gifts?
does that mean, Ness?
I mean, my wife and I were like, do we get each other gifts? And then we end up getting each other like four or five things.
We agreed not to do gifts, but I know that's code for I should still get a gift. So I did get Lauren a gift, but we did some like family stuff together. That was our joint stuff, and
Okay.
we're planning a trip here in March as well. So we're going to kind of count that. So yeah,
Okay.
we put all of our gift giving energy to April this year
There
for
you go.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting on my gift right now. Got myself a nice new, you can't see it, but a nice new office chair. Needed something with back support. The mesh on my old one broke, so it wasn't really supporting me like it needed to. And no matter what I do at the gym, man, my lower back just continues to kill me. So I have some big time support going on right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's do the I think I mentioned this in my newsletter, but the do some dead hangs there. That really straightens out my back when I'm feeling
get some pressure off the spine.
Yeah. All right, what do I want to do here? I feel like getting into like a fun stack late would be good. I'm just gonna take Brian Thomas though, and then I can figure out a stack on the wrap. But I do like the setup for Brian Thomas this week.
Yeah, I went T-Law with mine. I didn't anticipate really having a chance to stack other than maybe with Brenton Strange, just because of, these are nine game goal line stands. These are very, very thin goal line stands. So
yeah,
just kind of locking up the ceiling. Keep talking about that game. We'll definitely look at that when we do pick'ems for sure. I'd imagine.
All right, Phantasma sending in $1.99 for a question of you gotta give us the scoring settings first. Bucky, Waddle, Sharps, Jalen Warren, Burden. It's definitely between the first two.
Yeah.
But what would you? I mean, Bucky's still probably the play in most settings.
Are you? Yeah, it's like Bucky. No matter what your league format is, but think about how fun it would be to play Luther Burden without Rome against the Niners, though, and you have that on Sunday night, and that's the only game on. You get to watch your Luther Burden go off. So go Luther Burden, dude. I'm debating Luther Burden over Zay Flowers.
I will say this. This is from the PD gut model. I don't do this a lot. I will say we've all been frustrated with Bucky. This is the week he rips off the big play. He's going to have like a 40-yard screen touchdown, or he's going to have like a 45-yard touchdown run. The usage will still be maddening, but you can bank it. You can clip it. Bucky's going to have a big play for a touchdown this weekend.
Clip it.
There you go. No other evidence. Don't ask me to support it with any claims. It's just something I feel deep inside of me. Michael Carter sneaks in at the end of round 3 here. Tony Pollard, Warren Gainwell, the other running backs to go. I was even eyeing Henry. Those are nice picks by Jay Baconator there, getting Carter and Henry.
Yeah, he's so sharp, man. It's always frustrating when Jay Baconator is in your draft. You're just like, God damn it, man. I'm always keeping an eye on him.
Yep. This is exactly what will happen. Early big play for Bucky to put the nuke in sight, and then you watch him get 12 yards the rest of the game. That's a very Bucky coded experience.
Yeah, and then they're at like the 1 yard line. You're like, Sean Tucker? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I think that happened last week.
Yeah, this is going to be an upsell on my gems for the hand builders tier. Get the gems and all the premium videos. And then for an extra $199, I will just give you an all cap spew of by the balls. My other take. I think my other take is with Nez in that I think Bills and Eagles goes nuts. I think it blows past the total. I think that's the gut take.
I wanted to really badly, and just it's still in the range of outcomes despite what the total is. I mean, I know Jalen Carter's back, so that's not great for James Cook, but I mean, Josh Allen can go crazy. That's just what he does, man. This is going to be fun. Potential Super Bowl matchup. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yep. All right. what do we got next here? I got to see what do you guys got behind me as far as there's two quarterbacks behind me. You're the only tight end behind me with McBride.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, do I go Shuck and then see if Jawan Johnson comes back around? But Chad took Jawan Johnson there
You can still do Shuck if you're looking for a quarterback.
for sure. Wow, the tight ends are flying off the board. You know what, Nez? I'm gonna do our take. I'm gonna do the naked Jacoby Brissett angle here, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a chance to stack as well. Fingers crossed. But
Yeah, I will if he's there, but I honestly wasn't even like banking on it.
mhm.
Especially because Car Park has the Burrow Chase and Harrison's a pretty easy bring back there as we just did on ours.
Yeah, that's true.
What are you going to do here?
Yeah, I'm looking right now because like the highest projected players are running backs, but it's just I think I'd prefer the ceiling of a wide receiver here. So I'm looking at the Colts guys right now.
Yeah.
Probably going to go Pittman. Is either Pittman or Rico Dowdle. But I'm leaning Pittman and I'm gonna go Pittman. There's another guy that I do like, but I think I want to save it for our core instead of taking him and talking about it. I'm gonna save it.
I like it. Yeah, I wonder if I would have had a better chance if I took Marv there and then or Buster's probably takes a naked Brissett at one of these two picks, right? Almost.
I think so. I don't think he would do Darnold because he has Ken Walker on that team.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a wrong thought process, but I would think that he's got the touchdowns already. He goes Darnold. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that was QB2 for him. I'm gonna actually this is maybe crazy. I don't think so. I'm doubling the ghost double stack here.
I like it.
With Downs and Pittman.
I don't even think that's crazy. I think it's logical. You're playing that game. Lawrence is the quarterback with the ceiling, and you still want to get the production on the other side.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you just pray Lawrence spreads it out, maybe runs it in like he's been doing kind of randomly. So yeah, it makes sense.
I'm gonna play Trey Tucker opposite Tyrone Tracy here. I was thinking about Michael Mayer. I do like him, but I just feel like the tight end is like way more flat, and like any of these guys, I'll be okay with.
We got some eliminator chat going on. 2 of the 3 finalists in the eliminators.
Yes.
I saw Gunnar Ross send Yosh a DM, and I mean, you don't have to divulge Yosh, but was there some sort of agreement made behind closed doors? I am just like, morbidly curious if you guys are, doing a little swappage because BP apparently's got the nuts.
Yeah, wouldn't be. We had a little behind closed doors at the Dog Bowl with some of the Pick'em guys there. Deals can be made.
Yeah, a little swappage, and when you get that small of the field,
there you go. How did you have any sweats that are looking good in the best ball streets after yesterday?
Not really. I needed JMO. I needed Pickens. None of the guys that I would have liked to have come through came through. So no like major sweats. And in my Great Dane, that's the smallest finals that I'm in. Someone has JCM. That bill run out was brutal, bro.
A bill in the Great Dane. Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. Beretta James got me on that one. So according to PD, I've got like 20K in EV, which like I'm thrilled about. This is the most fun week 17 I've had in my best ball career. So hopefully we can run a little hot, but I really need to thread some needles. So what I'm really like hoping for is Kyle Williams going off. That would I have some low on Kyle Williams stuff. Nice. That would really make for a fun Sunday.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Someone I think said, I don't know if it was in our chat or in the show previously, but he has that big, every Best Ball Mania, we've had a random rookie wide receiver who's made an impact. We've had the Jaden Reed, we've had the Tyquan Thornton, we've had, KJ Hamler, these guys who aren't really relevant for most of the year. Obviously, Amon-Ra that second year, but Kyle Williams has big time Tyquan Thornton energy.
I know, man. I know. Yeah. I mean, he's just good too, dude. He's just good. I just wish this guy was getting on the field more earlier. Maybe I'd have even more teams advancing. But yeah, the ones that I do have, I'm counting on a big Kyle Williams game. And the runway is just so clear, like we talked about, man.
There you go. I think what I'm going to do here with my tight end, I'm going to play my Gesicki angle opposite Brissett and get a little correlation.
Oh, that's fun.
Here and say it's Gesicki touchdowns and Brissett keeps chucking.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It fits up with what you were talking about earlier. Oh, love the Phillip Rivers pick, man. Absolutely love it.
Nez, you were cutting out on me for a sec. Was I cutting out on you?
Oh, no, my fault. Am I back?
All right. Let me know in the chat, guys. I think I lost Nez for a sec here.
I'm still bad.
Are we good, Nez?
I can hear you.
Let me do a refresh. Something seems to be bugging in StreamYard for me here.
Okay, maybe it's me. Okay, Charlie says he can hear me. All right, I'm gonna make this pick. Charbs is kind of interesting. You got that now. No one. Oh, maybe I can. Oh, I can do a screen share. Pete's coming back.
All right, are you back?
I mean, yeah, I was able to hear you just fine.
Okay, weird. Nez is good on our side. I can hear you both. Weird. Like my StreamYard was glitching out. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear anything. So I
oh geez. Last week you guys sounded like robots to me for a little bit, and that was just a me thing. So I don't know. StreamYard just typically very reliable, giving us a couple issues.
All right, let's recap our teams here. I did James Cook, Tyrone Tracy, Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Brissett, Trey Tucker opposite Tracy, and Gesicki opposite Brissett. What did you finish with?
Yeah, I went Trevor Lawrence here, Trevion Henderson, Zach Charbonnet, the double stack, Oppo, Trevor Lawrence, and then Trey McBride.
There you go. Good stuff, Nez. Is it time for us to build a couple of pick'ems here?
Play it. Play the drop.
Right. Do it. Pick'em, spicy margs.
Spicy margs.
Radioactive spice.
Let's spice it up. Slop it up.
Slop it up.
I mean,
slide.
Just permission to slide, Your Honor.
You sliders.
That's a 65X. That makes me feel things. All right. Nez, are we going to try to guess? John, did John pass along a core play, or are we left?
He didn't. No.
Oh,
he just said, fill my size 6 shoes, and I said I will do my best, brother.
Okay. Sounds good. What do we have as far as boosts? I got a 50% profit boost here. Okay.
Yeah, you got a ton in there.
All right. So yeah, I have one for the core. I assume you have one, and then we can come to a conclusion on the third piece here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to channel John.
Oh, let's be careful with that. Okay. Where do you want to go?
So I was going to start with Trey Tucker higher. I'm going positive here, and normally doing the lowers here, but I'm going to go higher. Trey Tucker receiving yards, and just play this game, shooting out a little bit against the Giants. Like I said, I think the Giants are going to be able to do their part and score. So that's just going to push the Raiders to be in a passing environment. No Bowers kind of opens things up for Trey Tucker here. He has deep ball ability, so I'm gonna throw Trey Tucker in the core this week for me.
Yeah, well, it's funny because the core is going to look like a little bit of a game stack. I mean, I've been teasing it, but I mean, the Tyrone Tracy stuff I'm pretty into. Yeah. I had first looked at the rush attempts, and I'm like, it seems a little high, and I want to play to just kind of the efficiency stuff. So I'm going to just do rush yards here, 56.5. I will. If you think the combined scrimmage yards is a better play, I'm also open to 73.5 versus 56.5.
I think we should just stick to the ground game.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair play.
He's had back-to-back games over 70 in what I would say are tougher matchups. Minnesota. I mean, Washington's fine, but yeah, 56.5 here with no Crosby feels like a nice angle.
Yeah, I'm with this.
All right, so we get it. Let's get our third here.
All right. I think I know what it's going to be. And this is, doing a little bit of the John model here.
Okay.
I think so. And again, in typical John pass, I'm going to ask you to pick between two here, and it's going to be Cam Ward pass attempts or Cam Ward completions.
Ooh.
According to the good folks over at Unabated, the passing completions does show an edge, but it is 0.86 x, so not quite as fun for moving the needle. But I kind of like this angle of playing Cam Ward dropbacks. So if you want to do the completions, I'm totally fine with it. But the completions was what was popping.
Yeah, let's do the completions, and with the boost, we'll get back over a 6x for sure.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, yeah. So this should be take advantage of this. The unwrap stuff, you guys, I'm sure, have been seeing it in your Underdog app. I'm just checking my notes. There's going to be another gift tomorrow on 12/27, and then one more on the 31st. And then I would assume most of you have a similar 50% boost as me, and this gets it up to a 7.24x, Nez.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
All right, we are going to lock that in. Trey Tucker, higher 48.5 receiving yards. Tyrone Tracy, higher 56.5 rush yards. And Cam Ward, higher 17.5 completions. There you go. Lock it in. Core, private chat as well. Or do I not need to do private chat because John's not here? Do you play?
I follow along at home. I do. Yeah. I'm playing in real time, so you can rest on the private chat today.
All right. Should we build a game stack one?
Yeah, I think I can't help but get to this Jags and Colts game.
Yeah, that's where my mind was going. I definitely want something with BTJ.
Okay. What's the angle in terms of, or not the angle, but like what would you like to play?
I think I would want to play him as like a big play. So either like sliding his yards or just a touchdown. 1.16. What's his longest reception? 22.5. I wouldn't mind just like a little baby slide on him, like up to 69.5 or 79.5.
Yeah, let's do 69.
Yeah.
Get him up there. Let me look at Phil and see what we have for like drop back stuff for Phillip Rivers in terms of, is there anything that we can slide pass attempts, which I think is just fantastic, man.
He had 35 last week and 27 in his debut.
And probably could have had more last week, but things, went awry at the end there. I would say like 36 or 37.5 per pass attempts is what I would like to do. What are you comfortable with?
Yeah, let's do 36.5. So that's a 1.37. The BTJ 69.5 is a 1.32.
Okay. Now we could stick with the air and with the Indy, even though like the problem, I guess, is like who's it going to, because they have so many options, and he did make Josh Downs relevant again. So yeah, I guess what's Downs look like?
Downs, what are Downs back-to-back games of? He had 5 targets and then 9 targets. He had 3 receptions and 5. Where are you, Josh? Oh, here he is. 4.5 receptions is 1.05x. I think he'd play receiving yards at 35.5.
Yeah, we get less of a
slide him a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we could slide him to 40. Like I don't need too much, like 44 or 49.
I'm just put this in because I did want to see what you said. So receiving yards takes us to 8.25. What's another neutral thing? Fantasy points takes us to, man, this is slow updating today. 9.43. So interesting. Yeah, I mean 7.35. It's like what's the line there where he doesn't need a touchdown? I mean, you can still get there on what, like 5 for
6
50?
and oh yeah, like you're absolutely getting there. 6, like 6 for 40 is putting you 0.35 short.
I like Do you like the 7.35 fantasy points? I
Yeah,
feel like that gives you a few different outs.
more outs and less of a dock for sure. Yeah, put that one in there.
Let's find a way to get this to about 20. We're at 9.43. I just want to see what a neutral thing is. A neutral gets us up to 15.73.
Okay.
So maybe maybe one more touchdown, like a 1.2 to 1.3, or a little bit of a slide.
Yeah, let's see here.
Like a Warren touchdown takes you to 21x.
Oh wow.
Which seems pretty solid to me.
Right. That's I kind of like that. I mean, because they're not taking away a whole lot from us by playing the passing game angle.
How crazy is it? Like, I know that the team total is bigger for the Jags, but how wild is it that Strange is a 1.28 tutty and Warren's 1.34?
That is interesting, considering Warren's role is that much better. I kind of like Tyler Warren touchdown.
Me too. Yeah, and I mean, even there's a 4-point projection between those two, so I like playing that there. So yeah, BTJ higher 69.5, Rivers higher 36.5 passing attempts, Josh Downs higher 7.35 fantasy points, and then Tyler Warren touchdown 1.34x. Nice little 21xer there.
Yeah, that feels totally within reason.
Yes. All right, boom. There that is in the chats. A little Indy Jags game stack there. Yeah, I gotta play my gut take and something with a Bucky, maybe a longest rush.
Oh yeah,
slide.
Oh wow, longest rush. Yeah, we can absolutely slide that.
Wait, is he not? Okay, there he is. Man, this is a little slow for me today. Longest rush at only 13.5.
I know, man.
We are about we're juicy, dude. 40 yard rush. I said it. I think I said 45 yard. I mean, this guy's been getting minimum 15 touches a game. Like if we're playing the Bucky angle, it is on the big play. There it is. 6.92. What do you want to pair it with?
Oh man, there's like same game or just like
any no dealer's choice.
Let's go to New England.
Yep.
Oh, Kyle Williams doesn't have anything up yet. He has a touchdown. I don't want to.
Are you going Davis Maddock on this, where you're not emotionally hedging, you're emotionally double downing on what you want to happen this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to be. I'm not trying to hedge right now. Hedging. Yeah. You can't hedge.
No,
this
oh yeah, I just see touchdown. I mean, 1.63 for the touchdown though. That's not a bad way to just play it.
It's really not. I just hate I don't want to ruin this sick Bucky Irving play that we're going for here with a Kyle Williams touchdown.
We can run it twice.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So with the Kyle Williams tutty, that's a 33x there. Let's run it twice.
Okay. Deal.
All right. Bucky Irving, longest rush 39.5. Kyle Williams, touchdown. We'll call this Bucky part 1. Second angle here. I mean, I don't mind like a Waddle receptions or kind of 3.5 receptions for Waddle. Wow. He had 9 targets last week, 6.5 targets. I don't mind what if you just slid him up to 9 targets again? That's a 46x.
Yeah, that's a really fun angle because obviously we like pass games against Bucks. He just did this.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a sped up game here. Yeah, that's really fun.
And not dealing with I guess so 2.24 would be the equivalent of 7 catches. What do you like better? 9 targets or 7 catches? Very similar odds.
I like targets, I think.
Yeah. Quinn Ewers, you got to go targets.
Yeah. Nothing's set in stone with our guy Quinn.
Yeah. All right. There's Bucky part 2. Don't forget you have those boosts, brother. I am all out of boosts. I have NBA profit boost and soccer profit boost. So unless you got some FIFA only for me, I am done boosting for right now. Oh geez, Charlie, one more for a playbook 12 person. Look at you. All right, let's do like one or two more here, and then we'll wrap it
Okay.
up.
Do you want to do something for the Saturday games?
Yeah.
Okay. So two kind of tough spots here. We've got Houston and the Chargers, and the Chargers are favored. Two strong defenses here, and then two backup quarterbacks with Baltimore and Green Bay. Do we have anything up yet for? We do have. Oh no, nothing for yardage for Willis. But we do have some things we can play. Like I like Josh Jacobs plays here.
Okay.
I think.
I haven't looked at this stuff at all, so I'm going to default to you on this.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a ton of touches for Jacobs. So I would just do a higher on Jacobs. I really so this is like a lame call, but rush attempts. If you want, we can slide it to 16.5. Just because like
get a little,
they're almost certainly going to be running it like crazy here.
Yep.
I think this is a team with Baltimore that is just like totally just kind of like calling it for the season here. A lot of rumors about turmoil in the locker room. So I don't really like any hires for Baltimore, but I also don't know that I have the stones to take a Derrick Henry lower, but I kind of want to take a Derrick Henry lower.
I was going to say, because the passing game stuff is hard to take lowers on in case it's just like a ton of garbage time, but like lower on Henry rush yards at Green Bay seems fine.
Yeah, that's what I would play.
Yeah.
And then for the Houston game, kind of interesting that we get a plus X on Hampton to score a touchdown. I mean, they're favored in this game. He touched the ball 17 times last week. I kind of like a Hampton touchdown.
I did just notice too. I like that too, but we're getting a doc on Jacobs Henry correlation there.
Oh, they don't like that very much.
They say it's far too logical for rush attempts, oppo rush yards from the other running back.
What if we do? Let me just check the difference here. For Jacobs rush yards,
and that's was with a little bit of slide.
It's still kind of bad.
They don't have fantasy points up for him. That's a little bit better if you like 64.5 rush yards there. It's not a huge deal. I mean, it's like one
touchdown. Touchdown seems to be docking us the least.
Yeah, you're right. That's still 5.57. So maybe that's the play.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do Jacobs touchdown, Hampton touchdown.
And Henry lower yards.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really have a favorite on the Texans side, really. Other than, Nico Collins, grown ass man. But
yeah. All right. There you go. We're going to get the play three of the running backs here. Henry lower 73.5, Hampton, Tutty, Jacobs. Chuddy dropped in the chat there. We'll call this Saturday night. What was it? There was another. Oh, I had a fun angle because I hadn't looked at it, but you mentioned that the prop market had a pretty big disparity on Harrison and Wilson. What if we played those two opposite each other and then found a third piece to put in there with it?
Okay. Like, you want to play both go off or like?
I was saying like play you said they had Wilson higher, right?
Like way higher. Yeah. Or at least they did.
Like to play something like, Wilson, his receptions have been so low, although it's juiced to the lower. I don't really want to do receiving yards because he does have that big play, but I was even thinking like.
You could just do fantasy points.
I was going to say, I was looking at that or targets. I mean, 7.5 targets is kind of a lot compared to what he's had the two games that Marvin Harrison. But yeah, let's just see. I'd like to slide Marvin Harrison as like the part of this play that like makes it work.
Yeah. Do you want to slide his targets?
That's not bad. What did he have last week? I mean, it was a weird game for all of them.
Yeah. I mean, just to 7 targets is 1.2.
Yeah. And then we could put something in like with a Jamar Chase in this game.
Okay.
I mean, speaking of a guy whose targets have been insane, like he's had these 16 and 14 target games. Why don't we slide him up to like 13 and a half?
Okay.
This is kind of nice. This is a 25x. You go Wilson, lower fantasy points, Harrison, higher than 6.5 targets, Chase, higher 13.5 targets for a 25.9.
Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Awen, yes, you are late. I trust that you will go back and watch all of it, so you are prepared for the quiz that we'll be giving out at the end. Nez, I realized too we should do one haterade.
Okay, yeah, let's call it with the haterade.
Just did it with the Michael Wilson, but
you can, if you want to throw it in there, you can. I won't yell at you.
Yeah, let's do Michael Wilson. Let's do lower 7.5 targets for this flavor of haterade here.
Okay. I'm gonna throw in a lower on Baker Mayfield fantasy points.
Yep. 17.75. He has not been clearing that once over the past month.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then lastly, let me get these games back up. Maybe it's like two. It's so low, but like, is Aaron Rodgers going to throw for 184 passing yards this week?
You tell me, brother.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, they have. What's this team total? I mean, it's Steelers 18.5 there. Or do you just do, what do you think about the attempts? Like, he's been polarized, right? On the road at Detroit and Baltimore, he's at 34 and 41, but home versus Miami, home versus Buffalo, they're playing way more ball control, 27-21. You could just take lower pass attempts.
You know what I think? So the one thing that does scare me is like he's, dinking and dunking, and the pass attempts somehow get there because he's just like, by pseudo rush attempts. But two things that I do like here. One are the first quarter pass yards, because like you think like early game script, like why are they going to be passing a lot in the first quarter? Or lower on longest completion of 31.5 yards, because who in God's name is going off for 31.5 passing yards in this game?
All right. I like it.
Longest completion? Okay.
Yeah. We're going to give him the Phillip Rivers treatment with no DK Metcalf. All right. Michael Wilson, lower 7.5 targets. Baker, lower 17.75 fantasy points. Aaron Rodgers, lower 31.5 longest completion. This is like the nicest haterade ever. It's like your longest completion, your targets. All right. There you go.
I do think I have some Adam Thielen left in best ball. So like if maybe he can connect with Adam Thielen, that'd be a fun way to lose. But too much Adam Thielen.
All right. One more. We're gonna do a touchdown one that gets to around 50x, and then we are walking or sailing off into the sunset here.
All right. I'm gonna start with I'm gonna go Chris Olave touchdown.
Okay.
This man Shuck is on another level right now, to be quite honest. Todd McShay is redrafting him as the 101 in this draft class. I don't know if you've seen this. So he's cooking. He's got a mind meld going on with Olave. I'm going Olave scores 1.2x, man, is pretty nice in this spot.
As we build, I'm just going to get back to one that I really liked, which was the Warren 1.34. So let's toss that one in here. What was the Tracy touchdown at?
It was good.
1.19. Yeah, that plays
absolutely
for sure. This is up to an 11.48. You got another name?
Let's go to Let's do Michael Carter.
Oh, good one. Yeah, we haven't done him yet. 1.05. That gets us up to a 20x. I'm just seeing what a neutral pick gets us up to, like 40x. So if we get another like 1.2 or something, then we got a nice little 50 burger here.
Okay.
So we can go high conviction. I'm just curious what the McBride's at. Dude, we're putting this in at 1.09. Can we play?
For all time's sake.
Can we play? But I mean, these are the two DVP things, right? You beat the Bengals on the ground and via the tight end. Do we just play this as a 43.8x?
Yeah. Put that in there.
All right. There it is. Olave, Warren, Tracy, Carter, McBride. Easy game. All right. There it is. Nez, you said you're going to run a nose strip tonight?
Yeah, I think we're going to do some playoff best ball tonight. The timing is the usual, a little later for the East Coast folks, but probably looking at 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's the plan. I'm sticking to it.
There you go. I'm going to do After Dark again tomorrow. I've been enjoying just watching the game. I believe that, Packers-Ravens game will be on, and I'll draft some teams. I've also been doing this thing. I love the crowdsourced scrolls for the Wildcat, and I just take suggestions. But I made a tweak because I was getting some really bad ones, and then I changed the incentives and said, if I ship the contest with your suggestion, I will send you $1,000 tip. And then the suggestions got a lot better.
Wow. I'm gonna have to tap in.
Yeah. So get your good scrolls ready for After Dark tomorrow. And then we'll have the cram on Sunday. One other note, we're going to do the Shipcast Sunday, but we're going to move it up to the 1 p.m. window just because there's only 2 games and everyone's more like best ball focused now than like DFS with the late window sweat. So we will be live at 1 p.m.
Nice
there for the Shipcast. But yeah, looking forward to getting John back in the saddle. Be prepared. You're going to need to rely on Nez and John for the scroll the F downs, because I'll be giving you the scroll the F ups a week from now on this program. Best of luck with all of your BR sweats, your best ball sweats, whatever else under God's green earth or on God's green earth that you're sweating. We'll see you guys next time on Off and On the Clock. Peace.